The hurricane season is nearly upon us, and if there's one thing we've learned, it doesn't always take a hurricane to devastate coastal communities. For those of us in the Houston area, Tropical Storm Allison packed a powerful punch that prompted a lot of changes, especially in the medical center area. Meteorologist John Dawson takes a look back at the lessons learned from Tropical Storm Allison.
It was the first storm of the season in 2001. It remained a tropical storm for a staggering 15 days, much of that time dumping heavy rain on the Houston area. When it was all said and done, Allison killed 41 people. 27 of them drowned. It left 30,000 people homeless, flooded over 70,000 homes, and caused $5.5 billion in damage. It was the costliest and deadliest tropical storm in U.S. history. The Texas Medical Center was especially hard hit by the flooding.
These giant watertight doors are just one of the many changes that have happened across Houston because of Tropical Storm Allison.
I actually came here the morning of the event. That was June 9th, I believe. Actually, I arrived up at the top of that loading dock right there, and you can still see the watermark over there on the concrete. But that's about 30 vertical feet of water in this entire loading dock area. But keep in mind, that water went all the way back through the med school. It was estimated to be a total of about 10 million gallons of water that accumulated into the basement and first floor area here.
And what was inside this building?
So this is the medical school building at UT Health. So down in this basement area, we had lots of research activities that were going on. One of the things I remember so vividly was one faculty member had collected years and years of biological data, specimens from patients, and the problem is that was all lost, and that information was needed to follow, and I think this guy was actually doing heart research, but you know, all this historical information was now lost. So, you know, it's heartbreaking. There's these people's careers, and so that's why we want to make sure we have these protections in place so that doesn't happen again.
After a very long cleanup, the first step was to move some of the critical systems up and out of the basement. Over $20 million spent to make the campus more flood-proof, but that's far less than Allison's damage.
The total was about $87 million lost just in this building alone. There were several design features that were put in place, including a protective berm around the outside of the building there, these collection sump areas where if water does get over, it's collected and pumped out, a hydrostatic wall in aquarium glass installed around the perimeter of the building, and then these large flood doors. There's actually 23 of these types of doors installed around the medical school.
So obviously there's no guarantees that the city of Houston won't see flooding again like it did with Tropical Storm Allison. But if you look around, there's some big changes that have been made, and we're more prepared today.
And we are not the only institution that's done this. Obviously, our colleagues around the Texas Medical Center have put similar protective measures in place. And in addition to that, also extensive monitoring systems to make sure we can see the rate of rise in the bayou if we have a flooding event.
It's almost like a fortress there. I'm glad those changes have been implemented. By the way, UT Health recently tested all of those submarine doors that you saw as part of the preparations for this year's hurricane season. Test our plans, check our gear. It's something we all need to do. On Monday, we look back at Hurricane Rita and how that storm impacted our evacuation plans. We have more information to get you ready for hurricane season. That's on our website, myfoxhouston.com.